This is something that Joe Biden has brought up. This isn't true.
All right,
He said,
so give me one moment.
Although now it's been proven to be true. Were you at all?
All right, so anyways, what I'm trying to do, that's on my mind. So I'm going to start recording on multiple, and I'll let you know when the recording starts in the title, where you can skip to. I got multiple recordings going on here, and Google also. Oops, put in the word Google. Then YouTube also. Stamen Grigorov. Stamen Grigorov was a prominent Bulgarian physician and microbiologist. He discovered the lactobacillia, Bulgaria bacillia, used in making of yogurt. And let's see, 3, 2, 2, 1 for 5. Ooh, 9. 1, 5, 9. 1, 5 to 9. 1 for 5 to 9. And 1 and 1. This is a scary thing about like the population growth, and this doodle. Hi, there's a Google Doodle on the screen, and I opened this instead of YouTube. This is actually about the population and what's going on, and shortening the zucchini, the bread. So here's 3, and then 5, 4 and 5 are dead, and then 6, 7, 8, and 9 are royal. And then brown going nuts over here, and garlic being hidden behind the red one. And nuts being hidden behind the red one. Like Crash Course. Hiding the garlic and dill and everything to spice it up and make it edible. Yeah, the North tries to make what the South is doing edible. The green is purple in this thing. The green cucumber and the green bowl are the purple. And then in Florida, we have the blue. And the blue are here. I guess DeSantis, I don't know. DeSantis is actually like this or this. So I don't know who the blue face is, but there's somebody, 4, 5, 6. Somebody's a 6 in Florida. I guess the Africans are probably a 6 in Florida, the African Democrats, because they're positioned here back at the buttocks of the milk culture inventor. I don't even know what the milk culture does. I didn't finish reading it. It doesn't make yogurt. Lactobacillus is something that is in milk. Did he discover anything different, or did he just discover that it exists? Discovered lactobacillus. No idea what lactobacillus is. Here's a 2-minute video. It's something in milk. I do know that. Thermophilus actually causes the body to generate heat.
Hello guys, welcome back to my
that's
channel.
in Greek
Today
yogurt.
I'm discussing about a doodle which is shown in a few countries including United States. It's about Dr. Stamen Grigorov, who was a Bulgarian physician and microbiologist.
Yeah, that's what I was pointing out, is that the little ones are cold. They're producing fewer children than the fat big ones, making tons of children out in California. But that's because
he was the first scientist
cognitive radar.
to discover the bacterium essential to the fermentation of yogurt. Grigorov also contributed to the development of the world's first tuberculosis vaccine. Stamen Grigorov was born on this day in 1878 in the village of Student Izvor, located in the Tren region of western Bulgaria.
5 inches getting drunk
Passionate
or something.
about the science from a young age, he went on to earn a doctorate from the Medical University of Geneva, Switzerland. Following his wedding in 1904, the University of Geneva From a young age, he went on in 1878 in the village of Student Izvor, located in the Tren region of western Bulgaria. Passionate about the science from a young age, he went on to earn a doctorate from the Medical University of Geneva, Switzerland. Following his wedding in 1904, Grigorov returned to the university to work as a research assistant. As a reminder of home, Grigorov's wife gifted him with some Bulgarian culinary staples, including yogurt. Intrigued by yogurt's reputed health benefits, Grigorov decided to inspect it under a microscope. Following thousands of experiments, in 1905 he finally found that what he was looking for, the rod-shaped microorganism that causes yogurt's fermentation. The bacterium was later renamed Lactobacillus bulgarius in honor of Grigorov's home country, which is Bulgaria. Organism that causes finally found that following thousands of experiments, in 1905 he finally found that what he was looking for, the rod-shaped microorganism that causes yogurt's fermentation. The bacterium was later renamed Lactobacillus bulgarius in honor of Grigorov's home country, which is...
What is it?
You didn't call it curly, you didn't call it...
All right, I will in just a moment. I don't even know why I'm looking at the yogurt thing. I'll do that. I was going to send a message about the Supreme Court, and something remote controlled me to look at Google.
For what we need.
Okay. Well, something made me do this. Instead of typing in YouTube, I typed in the word Google.
Don't talk about it.
Bulgaria.
I'm talking about it because I
Later
need
that
to.
year, Grigorov took a position as a chief physician
30
at an
seconds.
hospital in his hometown of Tren. In 1906, he released
From
a
Bulgaria
groundbreaking
to the
paper
fat people,
demonstrating the first use
from
of
the small
penicillin
people,
fungus
and the
against
strawberries,
tuberculosis. He continued his
peaches
research
or
and
fruit
worked as a doctor throughout the rest of
of the
his life,
nose
saving thousands of lives.
of an
Along the
arista
way,
with these eyebrows,
honor of
identical
Grigorov's
eyebrows
legacy,
to me,
his home village of Student
similar
Izvor
eyes
today
too,
house one of the
but a
world's
fatter
only
person.
museum of yogurt.
So my eyebrows, my eyes.
Thank you for watching, guys.
But
Subscribe to the channel,
in
click the
Bulgaria,
bell
to
icon for
say that
notification. Take
yogurt
care,
is the
goodbye.
invention of the fat people and not of the southern tropical people who invented the optical lens, going all the way back to Egypt, and the Greeks also confirmed the existence of a lens. All it is melted sand that then is polished. Magnifying glasses have been around forever, and they're a physical construct, not an electronic construct. So you will probably never see one in the domestic sector that's any better than anything people have ever made before. Anyways, until the invention of computer math to create lenses based on computers. But the brains are always as smart as the brains were, so there isn't going to be any kind of lens before computer math that's ever better than the first lenses created by the Egyptians and the Greeks. So that's not false. There's one person who advanced the science, and his name is Royal Raymond Rife. He was using monochromatic frequency scanning using a prism to choose the color of light that struck the object. That would be the only time, or that would be the one time that the magnifying lens ever saw more than it could see before, was when it started going to monochromatic, but not black and white monochromatic, not red chromatic, monochromatic where it could choose the light frequency, because mass spectroscopy is what they call it. It's actually gas spectroscopy, but it's mass spectroscopy. Gas is just a better word. Math is like, what is math? It's religious. It's a mystery. We're cardinals. Oh my gosh, it's mass. We're massive. We're fat. I'm a Bulgarian. I'm Bulgar wheat, which is a thin Arab person, Bulgar wheat, and they're Bulgaria. It's the thin people got fat. The Bulgar wheat people got fat in Bulgaria. They added area to their Bulgar. So it's funny. The name Bulgaria means Arabic food that gained area. Arabic food that gained area. Bad joke that needs to be in the dictionary. Anyways, so
You see, you said seconds.
I just finished the video. I need to deliver this message
Yeah.
because AOC. What? AOC. I'm trying to complete a sentence. I love my mom. She's awesome. She's brilliant. She's a PhD of childhood education. She's right to nag. I'm under external influence, and I'm just trying to get through whatever it is I'm experiencing. And all you ADHD kids, you're all mind control victims. My best friend, second best friend, I don't know, best friend after high school, because we were townies, and that's what everybody should be, is a townie. Nobody should be anything other than a townie. If you move, you're a loser. So, I don't want to say that because I want to move back. Yeah, and so don't quote me on that. I do want to move back. Love you all.
If you can't do anything, let's go and check about anything.
She says if I can't do anything, let's go check on my youngest sister who's a poltergeist movie reanimation. She's under like a much worse condition because she can't rationally find her way out of it. And so she's like being remote controlled to be like, I don't know how to master race white trash, maybe like the master of all the lowest, most dangerous white people on earth. I've never seen a more dangerous example of what it is to be white my entire life than my youngest sister. Every situation comedy, every horror movie, every threat on TV, every cops episode, more dangerous than all of them, and not psychotic. She's the Elmira of the most dangerous people on earth. I'm going to hug him and kiss him, and then I'm going to fucking murder you. Anyways, I'm going to hug him and kiss him and pet him. I'm going to murder all of them. She's patent. I mean, someone's researching like the most dangerous white person ever using her mind. Okay, I believe it. So I'm looking for actually Ilhan, seeing what Ilhan says about the Supreme Court, because Ilhan is actually smarter than all of us. AOC is like the best. I don't know, she's the steadiest. She's that best friend that everybody should have. AOC is definitely the best friend, but the smartest person is definitely Ilhan Omar. I saw her on various talk shows talking to people. Or Ilhan Omar. It's a fucking trip. Yeah, that's what it looks like to us too. So that's like a really honest bit of photo. She married a guy who isn't Arab or isn't anything. And I'm like, what the hell is all this stuff? That's just, they're not allowed to do, and they asked Ilhan Omar. That's against the law. I don't care if it's marriage or not. And if you do, it has to be distilled water. Never, ever without distilled water rinse, and like the best medical practices ever. It's called a colonoscopy or an enema, but I don't even trust enemas. It's like, I dated a master's degree registered nurse. I was engaged to a registered degree. I was engaged. Is that the right word? I hate these words, but it's a domestic partnership. Was good enough for me. Domestic partnership. Sounds about right. Because you have business partners, domestic partnership, and people have ruined it in some ways, but domestic partnership. Instead of union, partnership. I'm going to call it domestic catamaran. Domestic catamaran, except it was with sex. So partnership, domestic catamaran, domestic, because you have a trimaran. Domestic catamaran, domestic pontoon. I kind of like that, domestic pontoon. That's like the right word. I was at a domestic pontoon with Eve, Roxanne, Dana. You're not going to believe it ever. Define pontoon. Pontoon. If it's a heterosexual domestic, it's a pontoon, a domestic pontoon. Flat bottom boat or hollow metal cylinders, hollow metal cylinder used as with others to support a temporary bridge or floating landing stage. You can have a domestic pontoon. I'm writing that down now. We're going to have domestic pontoon relationships where men and women apply for a domestic pontoon. That means they're dating. They're not a domestic pontoon. They're not allowed to have sex unless they become a domestic pontoon. You are not going to believe this ever. It must become a domestic pontoon. Let's find out the word marriage real quick. You don't want to, because I think marriage is where you've made a baby or something. Legally formally recognized union, two people as partners in a personal relationship, historically and in jurisdiction, specifically a union between a man and a woman. All right, so a domestic marriage is formally recognized when there's a pregnancy. It's not actually formally recognized until there's a baby. So everyone has to get a domestic pontoon. And then when they discover they're pregnant, they file, or after the baby's born. You don't have to report it before. I would like you to report it every time there's any kind of positive urine thing, because we want to protect the life of every baby. It becomes a marriage if there's ever a positive pregnancy test. So a positive pregnancy test, it becomes a domestic marriage. Positive pregnancy test is a domestic marriage. And let's find partnership. The joke is partner's hip. A partnership is the joke of partner's hip. So that's kind of interesting, but that's still true. I'll work on partner because the word to work on here is partner. Domestic partner, and then we have partner's hip. There should be a hyphen in there because that's it's not a ship, but that helped me find domestic pontoon. We're in a domestic pontoon. Man, you're not going to believe ever why everybody gets angry. You're fucking hated by everybody, okay? Domestic partners. Business owner, position of partner, business in a firm, in a business or firm. Business or firm owned and run by two or more partners. An association of two or more people as partners. All right, so a domestic cooperative would be better than partner's hip. So it was, actually, that's very confusing, isn't it? Partner's hip. I have the partner's hip? I get the partner's hip? It could apply to any situation. There's non-sexual. It's non-gender. It's gender neutral. Domestic partnership is gender neutral. You make people angry, and I'm never for gender neutral. Boom. I mean, at least like that. I mean, you mentioned the anatomy that differentiates us. There's the greatest difference between people is their hips. So domestic. Anyways, let me find these synonyms. They're using the word similar. So a domestic cooperative. Cooperate. A domestic cooperate. Domestic association. Ass. So C8. So ass sewing. A domestic association is specifically the anal sexuals. Domestic association. Ass. So see it. And ate shun. So they shun the eating. Ass. So see ate shun. Domestic association. These are the anal sexuals. So they actually have their own word. A domestic association. Domestic association is the anal sexuals. Anal. I'm just going to call it the anal sex. The anal sex. You're hated. Anal sex. Domestic. Yeah. Domestic association is association. It means they've seen poop on each other's penis. Domestic association. So we're doing okay for avoiding landmines so far. This is like Minesweeper. It's a Microsoft video game. Minesweeper. I hate you. State of being a partner or a partnership. I don't know what the word ner is. I'm partial to the near. I'm going to have to change the word partner to partners or something. Partial nearest. Partial nearest. Domestic partial nearest. I guess that would mean a roommate. Domestic partial nearest. Domestic partial nearest is a roommate. If they don't partial nearest, they're not a roommate. Mate without having sex. Partial nearest. So a domestic partnership is a roommate who partials the nearest person. Domestic. But it shouldn't be about hips. We're not looking at hips. That's the fat people game. So partner, partnerist, partner, domestic partner, nearest, partial nearest, domestic partial nearest, a domestic partial nearest, like Marshall nearest. Let's look up the word Marshall. Domestic Marshall nearest. Instead of part. I don't want to become separated. We're in this together. Marshall. What? All my high school friends. It would be nice if we were all still like hanging out and interacting. Like every year of school, I wasn't in middle school. Not really. One year, maybe half of a year, and half of a year again. I hate you. Yeah, that's a mystery. 6 and 7. Half and 7 half. And there wasn't an 8th grade year? You're making someone angry. In 8th grade, there wasn't 8th grade. Half of 6th, half of 7th, and there wasn't an 8th. That's what's going on right now with Black Lives Matter. They're hunting all the 8+. So we've got to do something to defend them. God likes me as his favorite enemy. Anyways, it's true. And God is Defense Intelligence Agency of the Army chaplains. Their goal is to kill anybody who would play Jesus in church. I was told this by Representative John Rutherford. He carries a gun to church, so if anybody ever disagrees with his preacher, or used to, he could shoot them for the safety and money of the man on the thing. He'd shoot anybody who interfered with the man preaching. Yeah. You don't want to hear it. Yeah, I'm fucking sure of it. Not going to believe it. Yeah. Anyways, an officer of highest rank in an armed forces of some countries, including France. I don't know, French, whatever. It's like going Dutch, but going French. Dutch is smaller. Going French. I'm making a documentary for AOC for the Senate. I'm still recording it. I apologize. I'll go back. I'll note what each section is about.
How long is it going to take?
I don't know.
Why you don't do it at night?
These things can take 10 hours or more.
Come and work now.
Be quiet.
Come and work.
Okay, common work. A domestic marriage or a commonwealth.
Come and work.
A domestic commonwealth. A domestic commonwealth. We'll check commonwealth. Domestic commonwealth. All right, so a domestic commonwealth is probably what we're looking for. A domestic commonwealth. Because then we tie into everything in the past. That sounds very dangerous. No one should marry for money. Everybody should marry for breeding purposes. I mean, Pornhub and Ron Jeremy and everybody else, no offense, but I mean, the people who controlled them were even fatter and uglier. It's like all the time we see the porn actresses, but nobody shows who produced, filmed, and did all that. I need a law that requires all porn to videotape all producers. The entire IATSE must be in the video. A law that the casting and all named persons in the credits must be a video frame. Yeah, for sure. Must be a video frame. In fact, I want to make sure that instead of one frame, we have 2 frames. Stereoscopic viewing, everything's 2 frames. So a law that CSA, you lost it. No, what CSA casting? There are 2 C's, so that's awesome. And say, C, say, C. Love you, C. I'm with it. Anyways, a law for CSA casting that all credited people must receive 2 frames or 2 photos of themselves. 2 frames. I like 2 frames. Because there are people that struggle with having children. So everybody, all right, everybody in a movie must receive at least 2 frames. Or producing. What is it?
Find for me a construction company estimation to build to replace that house.
All right. After
So you know how much the roof would cost.
she wants me to find a construction company.
Just ask them.
I will. To estimate.
Building replacement.
Yeah, rebuilding the other house. Rebuilding
You need to do it today.
the other house. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's more important than all this. Actually, let me. I'm sure I took screenshots for AOC and for Ilhan Omar. I got to her website and then got distracted to her website, to a page. Anyways, well, when they start letting us pay for it, we'll start owning it. We can't prioritize the same narrow sliver. Voters expect different results. If we say we are for the people as Democrats, we need to focus on unlikely voters, disenfranchised voters. Read my op-ed on how we're doing that in Minnesota in the Washington Post. That's cool. We have an opportunity to make transformative change to guarantee health care for every American, to tackle climate crisis. It starts with getting Joe Biden and Kamala Harris elected. No, it doesn't. Joe Biden is Satan out to kill all this. No, this is true. I'm telling her that right now. Joe Biden equals childless. I'm going to explain to you why people get idleness. All right, well, anyways. All right, so this is true. This is childlessness for Kamala. I still want it to be in writing. It's very important that everything enter writing. Come on, I'm pushing the button. And childless Obama. They were only allowed 2 children. Halting the Carnegie domestic. I'm trying to say democracy. Carnegie's the enemy of everyone. They're a think tank of brilliant people whose goal is to destroy and kill everybody who's brilliant. But they're going to survive, so who cares if all the other smart people are dead? Pabst Blue Ribbon. Want that to be... I don't even know why I'm saying that I want Pabst Blue Ribbon to be their official beer, but I want Pabst Blue Ribbon to be Carnegie Democracy something or other official beer. And all Carnegie, to be honest. Halting the competition for Team USA. I'm hoping I'm writing USA Today because the letters on the screen aren't doing what I'm typing. All right. It should be post politics here. I'm wanting it to complete itself, but every vote for Joe Biden. Every vote for Joe Biden is a vote for Ronald Reagan versus Johnny Carson. And I don't even know what all this is about. Okay. So like something like moved my pointer. It's not even spelt right. I wish this made sense to you. There's a vote for Ron Adler. Reagan. You're not going to believe why someone gets angry about something. That's funny. Revote. That's scary.
All right, did you find the company so we'll take them to their meeting?
All right. So I really do need to.
We will meet them there. We need it today.
All right. This is how long it takes to make a post
Come
on
on
here.
here.
My computer doesn't
Construction
function right,
company.
and she's right. I got to take care of my own
Construction
life.
company now.
But let me.
Construction company now.
Right, I'm contacting the Hill and Politico.
Make with them an appointment. We will go and they have to estimate for us.
They're both suicide cults. You'll find out in a moment why someone starts laughing. Well, that should be together. So Johnny Carson can read it. Johnny Carson is my more handsome grandpa. My real grandpa is the founding brothers of the Mayo Clinic. It's my real grandpa. Johnny Carson's a more handsome version. All right. So I'm trying to read this one thing, and as soon as I read this on my phone, I'm going to read it. It must be read. It must be read and understood.
Right now,
Okay. I did this specifically because I read it. Okay. Be quiet for a moment. Thank you. AOC, thank you for endorsing my position on the court needing to be 12 people. I when you said expand the cord, I research every word that's new to me. I'm making this a habit. This is Mobi Systems, MOBI Systems on Android. They have the etymological version of the Oxford Dictionary. It looks a little bit like that. I'm trying to move it towards the camera. It's that second one right next to the American Heritage Dictionary. That's the dictionary I look at, Oxford English Etymology. So it's the OEE. Your AOC, and you read the OEE, English Etymology.